everyone, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. So my Minecraft videos usually do pretty well, so I thought for my first tutorial we could do a Mooshroom because that's one of my favorite Minecraft creatures and a lot of people have been requesting it on TikTok as well, so I thought that would be a good time to do this video. So this is what I'm going to be teaching you to make today. He's pretty simple, the mushrooms are a bit difficult, but other than that, it's a pretty easy charm to make. It only requires some white clay and then some paint. You really only need red, white, and black to make this charm. A little bit of yellow for the mushrooms, but I think it's a good tutorial to start the channel with. So what I'm doing is I'm starting off with some white clay as the base, and then I'm going to paint the colors on it after we're done sculpting it. So I'm going to take this piece of clay and I'm flattening it out with my rolling pin. So then we can cut it into the shape that we need for the Mooshroom body. I'm leaving it pretty thick so that we can get the right shape. So now I'm just going to cut this into a square, or I guess it's more of a rectangle for his body. And then we can shape it to the correct size we need after, but let's just cut off the excess clay so it's not in the way when we're trying to make his body. So now I'm just cutting off the last of the excess clay here so that it makes a rectangle so we can use it as its body. I'm just going to shape this into the correct shape for his body. So we can attach all of the legs and the other parts of him and smooth it out as we go. So then you should have something that looks kind of like this for his body. Next, I get my white clay back and we're going to again roll it out into a thinner piece of clay, still leaving it a little bit thick so then we can have the legs and it can actually stand up on the legs. So I'm just going to cut it into 2 longer strips of clay. And then I'm going to make them the same size. And now I'm going to cut this in half. Okay, so here are 2 of the legs that we're going to attach to the body. So you do this by attaching it here. And then I get my blending tool and blend the clay onto the base or the body of the cow so that it will not fall off. Then I'm just going to smooth it out. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides so it doesn't have any gaps. Here is the first leg attached to it. So now we do the same exact thing with the second leg. I'm just going to attach it again to the body. Now what I'm going to do is take my X-Acto and cut them to the same length. So the legs are the exact same size. You do the exact same thing with the last 2 legs. So here I am, just attaching it to the base again. And last one. Now I'm going to cut them all to the exact same size so that his legs are nice and even. It should be able to stand up by itself. And this is what it looks like. Next we'll move on to the Mooshroom's head. So to do that I do the exact same thing. Get my white clay again. And get my rolling pin. And roll it out so that I can cut it into a square just like his head. Now I take this square and shape it to the exact size that you need it. And you have to fit it with the actual cow, so this is too big. His head is supposed to be a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to cut off some more of the clay, make sure I get it to the exact size. So now I'm just going to blend this right onto the body again. Next we have to make his 2 horns that go on the sides of his head and the mushrooms that go on his head and 2 on the back. So I'm going to take this piece of clay from before and roll it out a little bit thinner since his horns aren't as big as the rest of him. And then I shape these down until they're small enough to go on the very side of his head, like this. Do the same thing with the second side. Now the last thing we need to do is make the 1 mushroom for his head and 2 mushrooms for his back. and I'm going to try to make it look like the Minecraft ones. So the mushrooms on him aren't exactly round, they're kind of more like X's, so I'm going to go for that kind of shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making how I would make a normal mushroom out of clay, and then I'm going to cut out parts to make it into that X shape. So how I would do this is I would shape the top into this like half sphere kind of shape for a mushroom. And then I'm just going to cut out parts of it to make it into this like X shape. So this is how it came out. So now I'm taking another small piece of clay and rolling it out into the stem. This is what the mushroom looks like, just like this. So he's got a little mushroom hat. So now what I'm doing is making 2 more of the same mushrooms, so then I can put 2 of them on the mushroom's back just like in the pictures. So here's what he should look like after you're done. I put 2 more mushrooms on his back, blended them on, and now he's ready to be baked. I'm also putting an eye pin into my Mooshroom to make it into a charm, putting it right through one of these mushrooms. Now bake your Mooshroom according to package instructions. So now that our Mooshroom is fully baked, we can start painting on the colors. I'm going to start by painting the entire figure red. And now that we're done with our first color, we're going to use white to make the spots on the Mooshroom. This is what it should look like after doing the white. Next, I'm taking some white and mixing it with a tiny bit of yellow to get the color for the bottom of the mushrooms. So it's a pastel yellow. Next, you're going to take that pastel yellow and paint the base or the stems of the mushrooms. Now all we have left is the small details like the eyes and the nose. So next I'll be getting some black paint to use for the eyes. There he is, there are his eyes. Next we're going to have to mix some white and some black to make a light gray color on his mouth and for both of his horns. I'm also going to use this light gray because the spots on him actually have some light gray pixels if you look in them. So to make it a little bit more realistic, I'm going to add some of those pixels right on his spots. And then I'm going to use the same gray on his mouth and nose area. Next we take our black and we get 2 of his little nostrils right at the sides of the rectangle you just made out of the gray. Then we need to cover his hooves, again with black. I'm just taking it and putting it on the bottom of all 4 of his legs, and then a little bit on the side so you can see it from the side. There he is. Now the last thing we need to do is he has a little bit of pink and a darker gray right here and some pink by the side of his face for the ear. Put a little bit more black into the gray we made to make it a little bit darker. So halfway I'm just going to put the gray. And now I just need to mix the pink, putting it right next to here for his ear, and there we go. And there we go, he's all painted. Leave him to dry for a few minutes and then we'll come back and glaze him so he stays all together. So now that all the paint is dry, we can use our UV resin and go ahead and glaze the cow. Now we're just going to let it set under light for a few seconds. And now we finished glazing him and this is what he looks like. Anyway, thank you guys guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope it was helpful. I thought we could do a more simple tutorial for one of the first ones. I really wanted to do something that I liked and I've seen a lot of people request on my TikTok. So if you want more content, feel free to subscribe, comment, like for more videos. Feel free to leave suggestions on what I should make next. Or if you want to see me actually play Minecraft, that's an option too. I've been thinking about doing that as well. So anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!